With your CIGTV News Update, I'm Donna Bush. Visiting attorneys general from various British overseas territories from as far away as the Falkland Islands are attending the annual Attorneys General Conference right here in the Cayman Islands this week. Hosted by our own Attorney General, Mr. Sam BULGIN, the goal is to discuss topics of common interest to all the jurisdictions.
Indeed, the annual conference of OT's Attorneys General, which is normally chaired by the AG or SG of the UK, is an invaluable opportunity for us to exchange views and experiences, as well as to formulate and implement action plans that are of vital importance to the legal systems of our respective jurisdictions. I am mindful that we are meeting at a time when the UK and the OTs are facing enormous challenges from domestic as well as international issues. Issues to do with Brexit, the EU, OECD, FATF, as well as matters of human rights, natural disasters, and other such issues. These are all matters that continue on a daily basis to engage the chambers of attorneys general, all present in this room.
Various dignitaries attended the conference's opening ceremony on Tuesday morning, where His Excellency Governor Martin Roper and Premier the Honourable ALDEN McLaughlin made remarks.
These issues that attorneys deal with and governments deal with grow ever more complex. And it is increasingly important that A, we have people of caliber and ability to address these issues, but that we use occasions such as this and conferences such as this to gain additional perspective and views which help us all in the deliberations that we have to make and on the way forward. I have found in my experience that the single most important thing that I get from attending conferences, for often you wonder, why do we spend all this money and travel all this distance and go to this inconvenience to attend a conference for a day or two? The most important thing that I ever get from these things, I think, is perspective. For often I find with the issues that we are grappling with and the concerns that we have, and we think we are particularly bad off or in a very bad place. And then you hear the views and perspectives of your colleagues and you say, it's not so bad at home after all. But also you get other insights and views and perspectives which help, I believe, to be able to address these issues.
The 2019 Attorneys General Conference ends on Wednesday. Also making our headlines this Tuesday, government has passed changes that will reduce the administrative burden on charitable entities that operate as Section 80 companies. Now, the change to the law for the application fee is from $1,000 to $300 for an entity applying to be a Section 80 company. The cost of the administrative fees will also be lowered from $500 to $25. The steps made to reduce the cost and turn around the time for processing such applications has been made based on feedback from the public, said Minister of Financial Services, the Honourable Tara Rivers. Acting Ministry of Education Chief Officer Satanya Cacho presented the Little Trotters preschool with a certificate on Monday.
And I think everything that you're saying, you can see it in the work that you're doing. And it was very clear to the inspectors who visited numbers of schools, hundreds of schools, not just here, overseas as well. So to be able to compare to schools and nurseries in other countries and still have an excellent rating is just outstanding.
Now, the school has earned an excellent rating after last month's school's inspection. The assessment is the highest award received by a Cayman Islands preschool in recent history and follows a two-day assessment visit by an Office of Education Standards inspection team in mid-January. Now, during the visit from education officials, school staff was able to say why they believe Little Trotters is doing so well. Now, given the report's recommendations designating Little Trotters as a center of excellence, the preschool is encouraged to continue supporting other early childhood centers by allowing visits to see best practice at work. The Education Law 2016 requires the regular inspection of all public and private educational institutions from early childhood to compulsory school age on the Cayman Islands. And that ends today's news update here on CIGTV. If you missed it, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. I'm Donna Bush, wishing you and yours a safe and wonderful night and saying bye-bye. Did you know your mailing address details on your land register must be up to date in order to receive notices on new development which may impact you? Visit Lands and Survey Department to check your mailing address is correct.
Boating, fishing, and water sports in the Cayman Islands are great, but keep a cool head. Here are 7 tips for fun and safe sea outings. Number 1. Use a checklist to plan your outing. Check the weather forecast, make a float plan, and share it with someone who is remaining on land, stating where you're going, with whom, and when you're expected to return. Visit your nearest marine supply store to get your safety gear. This includes signaling mirrors, whistles, and a flare kit. It's also very important to have onboard flotation devices and life vests for each person. There are different types of vests. Some are for water sport activities such as snorkeling, and others are for going on offshore boating or on fishing trips. Number 2. These items can be lifesavers in case of an accident or bad weather. Number 3. Use a motor kill switch, especially if you're boating alone. In case of a leak or breakdown, always stay with the boat until help arrives. If you capsize, an emergency beacon or locator device can send a distress signal to inform the authorities of your location. Larger flares will indicate distress to a boat, airplane, or search and rescue officials. Number 4. In addition to sunscreen, food, and beverages, it would be smart to have a cell phone. Make sure your marine radio works. Cayman's boaters use Channel 16 to communicate. Number 5. Also, don't forget your anchor and sufficient rope. Number 6. Boat operators should be familiar with the local waters and reefs, as well as the capabilities and functions of the vessels they are using. Always obey the rules of the sea and the marine environment, and have courtesy for others. Number 7. Alcohol and salt water do not mix, especially if you're the captain. Some useful contact numbers are 911. The RCIPS Marine Base is 649-7710, and the Port Authority is 949-2055. Smooth sailing, all!
Did you know that walls, fences located along the road require planning permission no matter the height? You should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required.
The Esterly Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.
Did you know that planning permission is required for an addition, alteration, or any material change to your house? The 10% rule no longer exists. Did you know you should check with the department as a planning and permit application may be required?